What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull-Up Show. I'm your host, Mr. BJ Matthews, a.k.a. B. Just before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull-Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe to all of our YouTube videos. Hit that like button. Y'all coming here. Hit the share, subscribe. Hit that Cash App, $ Slick Rick 1991 son. Venmo at BJ/MATHEWS/1. That is our Venmo. Make sure you guys look at that in our pinned comments and description box. I'll put that in there. Let's get it popping. All right. So, late night car ride with B Jizzle. All right, new series is out. This is my way of getting back to y'all my intimate thoughts going around, not just with the LA Clippers, but around the league. So this is a very, very safe space I choose to let y'all in and invite y'all in. So that's what I'm doing right now. So it's going to be day, night, afternoon, car rides with B Jizzle, whether I'm going to the gym, whether I'm going to the work, going to the office, the arena. You guys get a chance to see how I am as far as my thoughts. So this topic presumed me to be a part of because of the NBA season starting and just all been surrounding with the NBA. It's an exciting time for me. My mind's always racing with different topics, right, for y'all to actually enjoy. And this one surrounding more so the Eastern and Western Conference as a whole. Now, I told y'all before, like earlier, the show I made earlier about the Clippers beating the Warriors, that I was going to do this show because I think, like I said, I have a lot of time to think in my head. I said to myself, what is a show that really can, or a video or topic that we can really kind of get into? And they presume me to do this one. The Western Conference ain't as strong as what people think. And I'll add on to that saying the Eastern Conference, to me, may have a little more competition this year. Now, I know that may sound crazy because of all the years the West has been dominating the East, especially in my lifetime. I've been watching basketball since 2000 to the 2000s. So it's a little bit different for me. But I'm just going by the standings. I'm going by the teams. Even the start of the season's already kind of presuming me to do this topic. When you have a team like, the Clippers, who a lot of people counted out in the Western Conference because of, the whole thing with Kawhi not being there starting the season and Paul George and Westbrook no longer be on the team. Everybody has an opinion about how we're going to be doing. And we starting the season off 2-1, and we're looking like we're surprising a lot of people. Now, I had told y'all before, I think the Clippers are going to be a 4th to 6th seed. Depending on how many games Kawhi plays. A lot of people said play in and they're not going to make the playoffs. I never believed in that nonsense. That's for people that don't even watch the Clippers or just don't really watch basketball. For you to look through the Western Conference, for you to think that this team's going to be a bottom of the tier team, it's just crazy. But that goes into my topic that a lot of these teams are mid in the Western Conference. Let's start off with the top team, okay? Let's start with the OKC Thunder. They are the team that's presumably supposed to be the best team in the West, right? But they ain't been to no conference finals. They ain't been to no NBA finals. They haven't had no champions outside of Alex Caruso on that team. A lot of young talent, but unproven. They made it to the conference semifinals last year, got beat by the Dallas Mavericks in 6 games. They're the number 1 seed last year. They won the most games in the Western Conference. They won 57 games, if I'm not mistaken. But they got shipped out. And this is a topic about the West isn't as strong as everybody thinks it is. When you look through the Western Conference, who you got in the lead right now in the West? You got the Lakers 4-0. You got the Lakers 3-1 or 3-0. You got the Thunder 3-0. You got the Pelicans, right? You got the Suns. They're all top 4 teams in front of the Clippers, who are number 5. You got the T-Wolves. You got the Mavericks. You got the Grizzlies right behind us. So. And the Warriors, the Warriors are right there too. So all these teams are right behind the top team in the Thunder, but the Lakers are the top team right now. So all the teams that I just named, we break them all down. I can name something that's a big fault on their squad. The Suns, they're a more improved team, but like last year, they just got swept by the Timberwolves, right? They don't have much defense. They're playing right now against the Lakers right now. And that's a bad matchup for them as the Lakers. The Suns don't have enough defense, to my personal opinion, win a championship. But they are better because of the addition of Tyus Jones. But that integral piece of not having the best defense and getting swept last year in the first round, the Suns are going down, right? You got the Lakers, who are playing very well right now, but they got gentlemen swept last year. You got, them. We're gonna see what happens with them this year. They might be more focused with JJ Redick, but in terms of that, they're not a dominant team. They ain't really had much prominence since really the bubble, right? You look at the Warriors, same thing, playing team last year. This year, we just beat them last night. They're not looked at as a dominant team, right? Who else? The Sacramento Kings, 1-2 right now. They're a playing team last year. The Pelicans eliminating the first round, swept by the Oklahoma City Thunder. Zion didn't play, but they're not a dominant. So I'm going through the list of teams, and there's something that's off kiltering. Timberwolves just trade away Karl-Anthony Towns for Julius Randle. You gotta see how that works out. Even with the Clippers, we are playing very well, but we are not going anywhere without Kawhi Leonard on the court. So it's a wide open West. That's why I like to call it the wide open West. And I think people are putting a lot of stock saying the West is so strong, but when you look at the actual standings from this year and last year, a lot of teams were like mid, and the team that got to the conference, got to the finals out of the Western Conference, no one expected to get. They were a 5th seed, the Dallas Mavericks. Right? So what I'm saying is there is no top dog in the Western Conference. You know how the Warriors for a number of years were going to the finals every single year. From 2015 all the way to 2019, it was the Warriors for 5 straight years. 3 championships in 5 years. Right? So that's a dynasty. That's a dominant force. We don't have that in the Western Conference. We got a bunch of teams. You know what we have in the West? We have a lot of aging stars. Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Steph Curry. Those are the aging stars. Guys between the ages of 35 to 40 years old are teams that are looked to be prevalent in the Western Conference. They're trying to renegotiate these younger guys like SGA and Anthony Edwards, De'Aaron Fox and Ja Morant. But even them, like I just mentioned, they are not even ahead in the standings. Aside from SGA. Memphis is number 7, I think. The Kings are way down in the standings. Anthony Edwards, they're number 6. We got to see what they do. Now, I know it's a little early, but what I'm saying is the West seems to be dominated by a lot of aging stars. Vice versa, you jump to the East, it's more with younger talent, right? And more guys in their prime. You got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, obviously. They're the 2, big dogs in the Eastern Conference. Donovan Mitchell, the Cavaliers are 4-0 right now. Shout out to my boy TuneIn Sports. They're 4-0 right now. You got, of course, the Sixers now with Tyrese Maxey, and then Joel Embiid's the MVP caliber player. You got, who else you got? You got Jalen Brunson, a young star. You got Paolo Banchero, their top 4 in the Eastern Conference. Who else you got in the East, if I'm not mistaken? I'm trying to think. You got more younger talent in the East. Giannis is still over there, even though the Bucks are doing bad. I'm just kind of letting y'all know a lot of the talent's in the Eastern Conference. A lot of the younger talent, a lot of guys in their primes. Meanwhile, guys on our side on the West are more so Asian stars. Jokic, they're struggling right now. The Nuggets are looking like they're a team that's going to be, struggling throughout the whole year. They won tonight against the Toronto Raptors by 2 points. So, what does that mean for the NBA if the West is, not as strong? Well, that means you got a lot of teams beating up on each other. You got a lot of teams who you guys think, that will be top tier on the screen, that might not have as many wins as expected. Look at the Eastern Conference. Like, we look at Boston, okay, that's a team that's going to make it to the finals, or that's the presuming favorite. They won 64 games last year, right? And it looks like they're going to be on par to do the same thing this year. That's a dynasty team, a team that's been to the conference finals and the NBA finals for a number of years. We don't have that in the Western Conference right now. We have a bunch of teams trying to make their stamp, or a bunch of teams who have aging stars on their way out running in the West. So, again, what that means for the Western Conference is a lot of uncertainty. That means a lot of, let's go out there and see what we can do and play before we make our, initial steps. I presumably think personally that if we have a team like the Clippers, let's take us for example, why not? As long as Kawhi Leonard is healthy, I'm not really worried about anybody in the West, and that includes OKC. Because yes, SGA is the MVP candidate. Yes, they have a good young team around them. Yes, they picked up some good pieces with Isaiah Hartenstein and Alex Caruso. But because of the defense that we have right now, and because of a lot of people counting us out with the coaching job of Jeff Van Gundy defensively, you guys are seeing a Clipper team that's playing with a lot of grit, heart, and you got a system with James Harden and Ivica Zubac that is beautiful. It's consistent. Last night when I watched the Warriors and the night before I watched the Nuggets, every time the Nuggets and the Warriors made a run, the Clippers had something to go with, and that's that James Harden, Ivica Zubac pick and roll. That's that James Harden attacking the basket and throwing the lob. That's that James Harden getting into his sweet spots in the mid-range and getting the point guard on his back, shooting that little mid-range shot. It's a lot of options. I talked to my boy about this earlier. When you got James Harden with the ball in your hands, you're dealing with the person who is arguably top 5 with the basketball, with his IQ. James Harden, LeBron, Nikola Jokic, Tyrese Halliburton, Luka Doncic are the best 5 players with the ball in their hands. That means, I'm talking about offensively. Scoring and playmaking, those are the top 5 guys. And we got one of them, in my personal opinion, James Harden. Defense have to literally double this man. And if you double him, he's going to find the open player. So you're pretty much, and you're in a lose a pick your poison situation, which is good for the Clippers. But let me go back to my point. The West, if you look through the West, there's nobody really dominating. There's no team that you look at. I look at on the piece of paper and say, oh, they're going to be trouble. They're going to be dangerous. I don't see it like that. I just see a bunch of mid, good, solid, competitive teams. This team can be in the second seed. This team can be in the third seed. The Pelicans, good team, but they not no world-beating team either. There is no Boston in the Western Conference. You want me to be frank? There's no Boston Celtics team in the Western Conference. There's no team that when you step out against them every night, it's like we're going to probably lose this game. They're trying to put OKC as that team, but again, they got to show me in the postseason. They showed me in the regular season already. They could be a top seed. They might win more games this year. Hell, who knows? But until they show themselves in the playoffs, then it don't really matter. Now, with them, they did pick up some good pieces to help them in the playoffs with Hartenstein and Alex Caruso. But even with that, again, you got to face superstar players. Anything can happen out west. The East, we pretty much know the top 3 teams are Boston, Philly, New York. Orlando's right there as well. I want to put Orlando in that spot too. But those are the top 3-4 seeds in the West. You don't really know who's going to be top 4. It could be us. It could be the Clippers in the top 4. It can be the Pelicans. It could be the Lakers. It could be it's going to probably be the Thunder there. You got the Suns there. You got a bunch of teams that could be top 4. So I just wanted to put this video out there because I want people to kind of, get things in perspective. The West ain't as dominant as people think it is. So Appreciate y'all chopping in with me, man. Make sure y'all like this video, like this page, man. Until next time, pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull up. Peace. Out of here like swim wow.